This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean, folks?
But if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 112. I'm Brian.
I am Spencer.
Welcome to the show. It's Memorial Day,
It is.
May the 31st. On this day in history, people celebrate Memorial Day.
Well,
let's not celebrate.
So here's the thing. All right, I want to talk about Memorial Day for a minute.
Okay.
Because I drove by the cemetery yesterday.
Yeah.
And, yesterday wasn't Memorial Day, but, you wouldn't want to bother people on their Monday off. They got to go water skiing and what have you. But anyway, the cemetery was packed.
Yeah.
And this is just a normal, everyday cemetery. And then my mom mentioned something the other day. She's like, I don't know what it is. In Utah, people don't seem to realize that it's a holiday for veterans who died in war, not so much everyone. Now, I can't poop on people for visiting a grave. What am I going to do?
Right.
Fine. You want to go visit you want to keep up appearances and put mums on everyone's grave. But the holiday is for veterans
right.
who died in war. Not that veterans have another day called Veterans Day. But this is specifically for the people who went to war and did not come back.
Right.
And, I have some trivia.
Okay.
Memorial Day trivia to see if you know anything else about Memorial Day. Because, a lot of people, they don't know.
Sure.
They don't even know how old the holiday is.
Yeah.
So there's a city. I don't know why anyone would know this. I didn't know it, but it's the city. What city is known as the birthplace of Memorial Day? That's the first question.
Baton Rouge.
Waterloo, New York. Okay. Anyway, this one people might know. Memorial Day was originally known as what?
Veterans Remembrance Day.
Not at all.
No.
Not even close. It was originally called Decoration Day.
To go and decorate.
Decoration, yep.
Graves.
And then Memorial Day was first recognized on what date? And if you're not going to give me the date, give me the year. I'll give you the date. It was the 30th of May.
1952.
No, not even remotely close. Not even. So this holiday.
1868.
You obviously just cheated. That's
my
pretty clear. This holiday happened after the Civil War.
Interesting.
When people would go to grave sites and decorate them. Grave sites for fallen people who had died during the Civil War. And then it became Memorial Day and was named such in 1967, became a federal holiday.
And they changed it to... So was it known as Decoration Day until 67?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
So I'm not, I guess, I don't know. What am I going to say? Don't go to your relatives on... But you should remember that this is for people who gave their lives in the service of the country.
Veterans.
Not Donnie, who drove drunk off a bridge. Just joking.
Right.
It's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah.
Freaking Uncle Donnie. Do I have an Uncle Donnie? I don't know where I pulled that from.
I don't know.
I don't think I do.
Well, again, it's May 31st. On this day in history, in 2005,
yes,
Deep Throat reveals himself. 2005.
Yeah, I think when we talk about because we got in a Deep Throat conversation.
Yeah, we were talking about where the name came from.
And
it's
how,
because there was a popular porn.
It was porn related.
Yeah.
As most things are.
Former FBI agent Mark Felt admitted that he was the most important informant in the 70s Watergate scandal, which uncovered the dirty tricks of the Nixon administration. ultimately leading to Nixon's resignation. Man, he kept that under wraps.
That's impressive.
That's a long time.
It kind of gives you, maybe they could be hiding aliens. You know, they managed to keep that under wraps for that long.
Right.
Isn't tomorrow supposed to be the day that they release the alien report?
I don't know. Is it June 1st?
Yeah. Let me look at that.
I don't know.
Is that actually a thing, or am I?
While you're talking about that, you'll be interested in this because you just went and chased some tornadoes.
Yeah.
On this day in history, the wildest tornado ever named. Well, they're not named, but
The wildest or widest?
sorry, widest.
Okay.
Right. I have my. It's the same.
It was in El Reno, Oklahoma.
It was.
It killed 8 chasers. Well, 4 chasers and 4 other people.
9 people were killed.
Yeah.
As it swept over rural areas of central Oklahoma. The storm had a width of 2.6 miles.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually watched a little documentary about it yesterday. We went, when I was on my tour a couple years ago, we went to El Reno, and you can still kind of see the scar it left on the ground. Yeah.
Jeez.
But we went and saw there's a big memorial for the 3 of the chasers were really big, like famous chasers.
Yeah.
They were on the TV show Storm Chasers on Discovery Channel. And it's pretty crazy. When you think of a tornado being that wide, you think of this giant mile, 2 mile, what was it, mile and a half?
It was 2.6.
Okay.
Think. What did I say?
I know it is huge.
2.6 miles wide.
But the funnel itself, like the condensation funnel is what it's called, was not that big. But the winds spread out that far.
Right.
So you can get caught in the technical tornado and not be in the center.
So were the storms on the 2.6 on the edge? Were the winds like the F5 rating?
I don't know that they were that high.
But you wouldn't want to be there, though.
No.
Okay.
That is where
like 2x4s would be.
The people died on the outside perimeter, and it was a satellite tornado that hit them. So when it's something that big, you'll have satellite funnels that come down just out of nowhere, which is why you'll see damage where somebody's house is completely gone and the next door neighbor's is untouched.
Right.
Because of those satellite tornadoes.
Came down.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So I mean, they're in this giant, tornado, this huge spinning motion.
Right.
But you get a little funnel that comes down that's like a 200 mile per hour funnel. It kind of F's you up.
I'm interested in how fast the general storm is moving on the outside of that rim, like because it's rotating.
Right. So that was one of the reasons that the chasers died. Is that the storm? There's no it changes.
Right.
Yeah. At one point, it was moving 50 miles per hour forward or whatever, and then it stopped, and it kind of just was not moving at all. And then it was going 30, and then it kind of shifted a way that tornadoes don't normally shift, and that's when the satellite tornado hit those guys.
That's were they in like the vehicle that like climbs down on the ground?
They were in a Chevy Cobalt.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
man, of all things.
But it did, and also the Weather Channel was actually doing a big caravan. They had like 5 vehicles, and one of them, you can look it up. It was a Suburban. It got trashed, man. It got picked up by something, rolled I think 12 times. They said all the airbags deployed, and somehow they all were fine.
There were people in it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad. It was a really bad tornado. And another interesting thing about it is something that's kind of wrong with the way that we rate tornadoes is there's debate on how strong it actually was. Most people will say that it's EF5, but with the Fujita scale, the enhanced Fujita scale, it's based on damage. And since this tornado actually really didn't do any damage, there was no structural damage. It didn't really hit anything.
That's dumb. Oh.
The only damage they could find was EF3 rated.
No.
So they rated EF3, even though it's pretty well established that there were winds around 300 miles per hour close to the center of it.
I don't like that rating scale.
Well, it is a problem, and it kind of is what it is right now until they can develop ways to better.
They can have 2 scales.
No, I know,
Right.
but you can't always record that wind that way. I can't remember. I don't know how they got it, or if they're just estimating.
Oh, gotcha.
But
So they can usually look back at the damage and say the
Right.
winds were at least this based on the
Right.
damage we see.
But you could
Gotcha.
see a giant wedge tornado in the middle of a field,
Right.
and if it doesn't hit anything, then you're not gonna.
It's nothing.
Then it may not get rated.
That's
It
interesting.
may be EF0 or EFU. I think is it's undefined.
EFU.
Um,
Well, here's a bit of trivia for you. Now, this is just on Wikipedia. How many total F5 tornadoes have there been, or EF5, since 1950 in the world?
I not that many. I don't know. Probably 30 or 40.
62.
Yeah,
How many in the U.S. since 1950?
60.
59. And then so 59 in the U.S., 1 each in France, Russia, and Canada.
Canada had one.
Isn't that weird?
They do get storms up there occasionally, but
It's more weird that we're the only place that gets them.
we're not. We're not the only place that gets
Well,
them.
I mean, with frequency.
China apparently gets them
Do they?
a lot. In fact, there was just one,
I mean, it's big enough.
but it's all about the location where we're at.
Oh,
And
it's
it's the
weird.
Gulf of Mexico and the Canada and
Like, I can't. What if you'd never seen one before? You didn't know the name.
you know that's a really high probability for the settlers that came
settlers
here.
and natives.
Yeah, because
Maybe they had a name for them after a
oh, I'm
while.
sure,
The
I'm
natives
sure.
did.
But if you were coming across from England, I mean, England has them, but one, they're not typically very big at all.
Right. More like a
And
funnel
two, they're
cloud.
they're very rare.
Yeah.
So if you saw something like that, you just decided to move down to Tennessee. See,
Like, if you were on the coast of Florida,
oh God, what? What is that?
You just see
What is?
you just see huts like pa, pa, pa.
Seriously?
Or like if you're on the coast of Florida in a hurricane and you don't know what it is, you'd think the world is ending.
Yeah, but they had. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, hurricanes are more widespread than we give them credit for.
But just like,
But
you know,
yeah,
it's like the
but
first guy to
yeah,
eat an
yeah,
egg.
yeah. If it was a really bad one. I
You'd
mean, we
think-
didn't really start keeping tabs on this stuff till the 1900s.
Right.
So,
Right.
or late 1800s. But yeah. And, it may not have been that bad back then.
You're right. It has gotten worse. At least hurricanes. Have tornadoes become more frequent?
Yes and no. It seems like Tornado Alley is kind of shifting. For example, if you pull up somewhere, there's a map. I think it's on Wikipedia that I pulled up of all the tornadoes that have happened this year, and they've mostly been in the south.
They're moving south.
Yeah,
Because it's-
what they call, for now, I'm sure the name will change. It's
Yeah.
called Dixie Alley right now.
Okay.
And there's been a lot down there. But over the past few days, there's been quite a few in your traditional tornado alley, like Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So they're moving south. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't done a lot of research as to why,
I mean, it's
but they're
knows
getting
what
they're
wind does.
getting more, and they're getting stronger ones down there than they used to, and more well defined. Like I like to watch the news when there's one happening, and they report, and sometimes they'll show pictures of it and stuff, or video as they catch it, and all these southern or news anchors are like, we usually don't see these kinds of tornadoes here. Because they'll normally get really rain wrapped ones where you can't really see the tornado; it just looks like rain. But the ones that have been coming through this year have all been. Every weather person I've watched is like, oh, well, this is a little unusual for this area, but like, I guess it's not anymore, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting, man.
But yeah, man, tornadoes. I did wait, what week are we on? Was it last
It was
week?
2 weeks ago, I think.
I took a little trip to Tornado Alley, went to Oklahoma City. And I posted a video. I did some
Yeah.
work while I was there.
TikTok. Hey, by the way, at the Our Take Pod.
Yeah,
on
you should check
TikTok.
this out. We're getting a lot of hits on some videos,
Yeah.
so let's get more. Anyway, we didn't see anything. We
That
we
sucks.
we went the wrong week. We started in Oklahoma, then we went to Amarillo, Texas. We found, I mean, there were some storms, but honestly, nothing that you wouldn't see here. I
Yeah.
think.
And you see one from your plane.
Yeah, basically.
See a giant one.
we went to Amarillo, and then we went to freaking Nebraska. You remember Torrington, Wyoming?
Yeah.
We were really close to Torrington, Wyoming, in a city called Sydney, Nebraska. And then we drove down into Colorado some more, and
That's a lot of driving you guys did.
3,300 miles in 3 days. So, yeah, it was
What?
pretty crazy. Yeah, it was nuts.
That's
That's what you do in storms, just driving.
still, man.
But what really sucks is so this area that we were in, Nebraska down to New Mexico, was the only play we had that week. Like, that was the spot where there was a 1 to 5% chance of tornadoes.
Yeah.
And the day we left Saturday, there were tornadoes, like 5 of them in that area. The exact cities we drove through the day before.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then that streak continued the next day.
Right.
And then if we would have gone the next week, we would have been able to possibly get like 10 of them.
Were you ever on like this in the same area? Did you see actual storm chasers?
We did, actually. We ran into the tour group that we went with a couple of years ago. Now, I should say that one of the storms that we were on was a really pretty storm. It looked great. There was rotation on the back end of it, and I guess 2 train spotters did see a small tornado with it, but we weren't on that end of it. And the National Weather Service, being terrible as they are in that area, didn't catch it. You know, I've caught 3 tornadoes before the National Weather Service does as of late, just on radar. Like,
Shut up.
This should be tornado warned, and then within a few minutes, like, tornado warning. Like,
Are you just hanging out on like a radar? Like,
why was I looking
you should
at
do
those?
like TikTok live, and you could warn people
No,
in
right?
Tornado
I
Alley.
don't remember why I was looking at those storms.
I'm watching the radar,
But
guys. And
the
you guys should
one,
get out.
the storm that we were on, me and the guy that I was with, we were in agreement that was pretty decent looking rotation. I'm kind of surprised that it wasn't tornado warned. And sure enough, the next day they reported a small little nader. But
holes, little nader.
a couple things from my trip, non-tornado related.
Okay.
One is F T-Mobile. F them. Okay? F them.
Okay.
Hard. Just ram it in with my dad's, 30 millimeter bullet.
Got to finish that sentence.
So for the past, how long have I worked at SkyWest? 3 years.
Yeah.
Whenever I fly, you connect to the Wi-Fi on all 3 of the carriers that I can fly with. Do this. And you look at the options. You can buy passes, or you can just do their free, which is just messages.
Right.
And then there's always a free Wi-Fi for T-Mobile users. Now, all you had to do was type in someone's T-Mobile phone number, and it would turn on free Wi-Fi for the whole flight.
Wow.
So I would type in my ex-wife's phone number because she switched to T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Just not that I don't think it ever notified her or anything, but it was just my way of, just a slight.
Just right.
Hey, I'm going to Australia. Fuck you.
Right.
I'm using your phone number for
It
Wi-Fi.
pops up like, are you using Wi-Fi on your flight to Australia?
Well, turns out that might have actually happened
Yes.
because T-Mobile all of a sudden is like, oh, shit. People are ripping us off.
Oh, man.
And so this is an actual news story because I was baffled when I couldn't use it. GoGo Internet and T-Mobile cracked down on Wi-Fi freeloaders.
Freeloaders.
The recovery of passenger traffic and blah, 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 blah. Anyways, now you have to send a PIN.
To your phone?
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now So I did that. So there's a possibility that she got a text that was like, "This is Delta Wi-Fi," or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Huh.
So you just need to have a buddy on T-Mobile and be like,
No, it's more complicated
Oh,
than that.
you can't
Okay,
just- I couldn't
so
see-
I was like, oh, okay. So what I can do is log on to the free messaging. Okay, pull up everything, have it send it out. I'll get the message. No, as soon as you click that free T-Mobile thing, it logs you out of all the internet.
so
You can't even message.
You couldn't have a friend on the other end like, hey,
No.
send me the code.
No,
Oh wow.
the only way to do it.
You have to have 2 people.
Yes,
Yeah, you got
you have to have 2 devices,
2 devices. Yeah.
which I'm planning to do next time. Wi-Fi is ridiculous. It's like $20 for the flight, man. That's so stupid.
If you only had an iPad with you or your
Well,
computer.
I'm about to buy my mom a new phone, and her phone will just have to be my free Wi-Fi phone.
You're my T-Mobile Wi-Fi.
I
go-go
honestly
phone.
went home and thought it was like, I'm gonna have to join T-Mobile. And then I talked myself out of it. And I was like,
You're flying for free, but you're this is $20
this is
Wi-Fi.
absurd.
I don't think I've ever joined Wi-Fi in flight. I always just have enough movies and music.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
Do you like surf or are you like streaming?
No, it really only becomes an issue when I'm on a flight that doesn't have any entertainment.
Sure.
That's when it's kind of obnoxious.
That's what I mean. Like I
Um,
always download like 4 movies.
Yeah,
books,
I mean, I guess I
Yeah.
could do that.
podcasts.
But who listens to podcasts?
I don't know.
Oh.
No one's listening to this. They're watching us all on TikTok.
Another thing I found is interesting on my trip is 2 things, actually. First, no one in Texas, rural Colorado, or Nebraska are wearing masks at all.
Sure.
No one.
I mean, it's actually happening.
Yes.
Here.
I went to Walmart, Macy's, and a couple other stores yesterday, and I didn't wear a mask in a single one of them.
Right.
And I got to say that I'm completely okay with that. I don't know what your point of view is.
I'm okay. I still abide by whatever the store has posted.
Well, yeah, I took it in with me just in case, but once
Right.
I saw that it wasn't required, I was like, I'm
No,
vaccinated.
I'm the same way.
Screw this.
Yeah. I still like. There's still a little part of me because I have a 4-year-old who's
Right.
not vaccinated.
Right.
Everyone else that I see. Well, I have some coworkers who aren't vaccinated.
Mm.
That's what people don't. I don't even know if we know yet. But we have to go on the assumption that even if you're vaccinated, you
Well,
can still carry and
The
transmit.
CDC, that's why they lifted their thing, because they had found
That you can't transmit it.
that it's highly unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Like,
So it dies quick enough.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, that's good news. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, like there's still like the conventional like you got someone's spit on your hand
yeah.
and it lives long enough.
And you licked it, and anyway,
And
someone
then you
spit
let
in
someone
your
else,
mouth.
Someone else, yeah, someone spits in your mouth, you know. So whatever.
I will say,
And then you have to spit in someone else's mouth who's not vaccinated.
it was fine going into a hotel with no mask, and the restaurants that all felt fine. But I went into a Walmart for the first time in a year
Yeah.
without a mask, and I was kind of like,
Everybody's doing weird shit with
yeah,
their
it
mouths.
was weird, man.
Everybody's walking around like
It felt so strange to not.
you can't do the stuff you've been doing with your mouth. You can't do it anymore.
know.
That you've been doing underneath the mask.
I know, like giving blow. No,
like just muttering. But not, you know.
Oh, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
What did you say? Oh,
Nothing, man. I got my mask on.
mask.
That's-
I'm in my mask.
right. I'm in my mask.
Well, anyway, when I was we stopped at a rural
Yeah.
gas station in Colorado, and I went to the bathroom to urinate. And I had to go into a stall because it was a strange, I don't know, it was a weird bathroom. But anyway,
Right.
this stall had been carved up with every possible, there was basically an ongoing Biden's a Nazi, Trump's a Nazi, back and forth. I don't know who's,
It started at the top of the.
I'm not even, I'm serious. That's exactly what it was.
You should just start hash marks,
Yeah,
and you just make your
for
vote.
real.
You know.
But there was one big letters in there that I didn't know what to think of.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say this word anymore, but I'm going to.
All right.
It said, the KKK are fags.
I I don't know about the grammar. I don't know about
It's
the
kinda
use of that word.
hate speech for like.
You're using hate speech against a hate group.
Huh.
It's like a double negative.
Right?
Yeah. The KKK are. I guess that's right. Like, you guys are.
Right.
I thought is sounded more appropriate because it's not a plural. But you are referring to multiple
right.
people.
Yeah, it's
right?
not. There's not one.
Because then it's not like the organization.
They didn't say the Grand Wizard is a.
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, it's just like
the KKK are idiots. The KKK is idiots.
you know,
Yeah,
it harkens back to an episode of South Park, which I should encourage. You should watch all of South Park. I don't really haven't, but
I'll watch it at double speed.
where the bikers come into town with their really loud Harleys, and the kids are calling them. We're not allowed to say that word, right? That's just I don't know. Anyway,
We referred to it on the show before as the gay F word, and I don't know.
I hate calling things that, but anyway, they start. They
better to err on the side of like, hey,
I know.
I don't want to piss anyone off.
I don't. But
yeah.
Anyway, they start calling the bikers that, and the whole town is like, "Why are you calling them that? You can't say that anymore." And their whole point was, well, that's not what we're talking about. These guys are they're annoying as hell.
They're
right?
so trying to change the meaning.
And so they call in like the master of the dictionary or whatever, and they officially changed the word from derogatory term for homosexuals to a derogatory term for Harley riders.
All right.
They're like,
I just Googled it here. A tiring or unwelcome task.
no, the meaning of the word has changed like a bajillion times. I mean, the word still flies in England because it's talking about cigarettes. And
It's a brand.
Really?
It's a brand over there made by the Schaeffler Group. It says FAG, like it's all capitals. Fag, a brand of the Schaeffler Group. Cigarette. Oh, wait. It's like multiple things here. I don't know what the Schaeffler Group is, but yes, it's a cigarette in England.
So yeah, I don't know. I at one point they're in a courtroom and they're like, okay, so a guy cuts you off in traffic, and what's the first thing you say? Fag. They're like, now, do you think that guy's gay? No. And one of the guy goes, this is making incredibly good sense.
I like it. I mean, I don't like not the word. I said I like that. It's a funny joke. Okay.
It's
a funny joke.
I used that word frequently growing up.
Yeah, man. Like, dude, I saw a TikTok of Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber.
It's from The Office. I don't know why it's stuck in my head. He must have been like 13. Telling like N-word after N-word jokes like you remember the one that started out like why does a black person hate a chainsaw? Remember that one?
Yeah. There's a lot of bad ones. Yeah.
There's a lot of bad ones. And this went on. Like, he kept telling them and was singing a song about, like, it's one less lonely N-word. And I'm like, people are, like, commenting, like, we need to cancel Justin Bieber now. And I'm just, we've said before, I'm just super grateful that my teenage years were not recorded.
I know.
Because you learn, you change, you adapt.
Yeah.
If you're a good person.
We change. We said. I mean, a lot of.
It was pretty bad though, like, even for a teenager, you know, it's kind of like, what are you doing, man? You know. But they recorded his whole life.
Do you ride a big loud Harley and go up and down the streets ruining everyone's nice time?
No.
Then you're not a fag.
It's annoying, loud faggot.
Yeah, I don't know. I certainly haven't heard that word very much.
No, it's kind of been.
Late.
It's here. This is what I wanted. This is the whole meeting here.
Thing.
No, but the traffic coming at you just keeps coming. And even when the light turns red, a guy in a BMW runs the red light so you can't make your left turn. What goes through your mind?
Fag.
Right! But you're not thinking, oh, he's a homosexual. You're thinking, oh, he's an inconsiderate douchebag like a Harley rider.
This is making insanely good sense to me.
Oh man, those guys.
I can't believe the
tell ya.
stuff they're still getting away with.
Well,
Like their newest episodes, I'm like,
it's weird how some, like,
they did have a whole hashtag cancel South Park season that they kept putting at the end of their episodes.
right. It's weird what comedians, what writers are able to continue to get away with stuff, and then who's not. Right. It's almost like the collective group of cancel culture is afraid of some people. Right. Like they don't like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't cancel Dave Chappelle.
Right.
They
Or,
tried.
These guys, what are their names? Trey and
Matt and Trey Parker.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Have you?
Even Seth MacFarlane. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
true.
as bad as South Park, but it is weird. It is weird how it seems like some people are just kind of immune.
So South Park, have you ever seen an episode at all?
yeah.
You know how at the very beginning it has this a black little message that comes up?
Oh, the viewer discretion.
Yeah, it says all characters and events in this show, even those based on real people, are entirely fictional. All celebrity voices are impersonated poorly. The following program contains coarse language, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone. But, so let me pull this up real quick. Their
I love
latest...
that. The first line is great.
What?
Like real or
Oh, yeah.
real or not are fictional.
But they changed it. They changed it for this. They've been doing, during the pandemic, they've been doing hour-long specials instead of their episodes.
Yeah.
And they've been about, because, they make the episodes super fast, so they've been about, they've been hilarious. You should watch them.
All right. I'll tune in.
They've been about the pandemic. The last one is called the Q special or something. Hold on, let me. Oh, come on. Sorry.
That's okay. Speaking of Q, I just saw it on your shirt. Is your shirt of the week?
Oh yeah, we got to start advertising
shirt
this
of the
stuff
show?
because a lot of these shirts I get compliments on a lot, and this was one I got compliments on.
Is that Air Force One?
No, multiple times on my
that's not
trip.
Blue Wings.
Now,
That's right.
to the aviation enthusiast, you would know that the 747 is considered the queen of the sky. And so what I did for this shirt is I made it into a card.
Right.
And I got lots of
very clever.
Go out, buy this on
They're all on your Etsy?
I haven't put this. Well, yes, it will be. By the time you put this clip on TikTok, TikTok,
Yeah.
Tick.
And yeah, because you can just go to Etsy and then search Scary Parrot Media, right?
Yes.
All one word, I
I think
believe.
it has to be one word.
We need to
though.
put that in. We'll link it on the website too, thearttakepodcast.com.
Hold on. Wait for it. There it is.
We need to consolidate our shops
Oh.
because we have a shop on the website too.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, where you can buy the Art Take Podcast merch. Your mug, like these mugs, these wonderful mugs that we have.
Oh yeah.
Handcrafted?
Mugs. Okay, here we go. Finally, it's called South Park, and the park is spelled with a Q. Vaccination special. Anyway, their new banner. This program includes negative depictions and/or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and will still be wrong in the future. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact, learn from it, and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together. Like the Muppets, this show should not be watched by anyone.
So they had to like that is a compromise.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just for this episode or if it's going to be there forever. But
The compromise is screaming in your face. Can
Yeah.
we put that last line if we have to say the first stuff?
yeah.
Right? Speaking of band stuff, I don't know how Ashley found this, but one of Quinn's favorite shows is Peppa Pig. You know?
Oh my God, did Peppa get canceled?
No.
Oh.
One of a Peppa Pig episode.
She makes a lot of episodes. You give her some credit.
An episode of Peppa Pig has been banned in Australia because Peppa is learning from her dad that
About alcoholism?
about the spiders aren't dangerous.
Oh.
So they had to ban it in Australia because we can't teach kids that. That was pretty funny.
You know, the biggest spider in Australia isn't all that dangerous.
Right.
It is terrifying.
But I
'cause
also
it is huge.
I also learned that people have house spiders that they keep in their bathrooms to kill the dangerous ones.
Probably.
No, it's a real thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
That's again.
And it's not just in Australia either. Kurt, when he was in Mexico City,
Right.
had a big, I think it was a tarantula
Yeah.
that they let just walk around at night to eat the other spiders that could hurt you.
I don't kill spiders anymore, but they still make me a little uneasy.
No, you've got that little broom.
Yeah, it broke.
It did?
Yeah, I gotta get a new one. But I swept one outside the other day. But
Have you watched any of the shows on Netflix lately about food, like Seaspiracy and
no,
like
because
the one that's about like the Game Changer? It's about meat. I haven't watched them.
I feel like I started watching them and I got uneasy and kind of feeling gross, so I stopped.
Right, because I've made this claim before that out of everybody I know, you're the closest to going vegetarian for the sake of the animals. And so I'm curious if you've watched any of those shows.
No, I haven't. And here's the only way I make peace with that.
The Bible.
No. I mean, there is the argument that if I went vegetarian, it's not going to stop what's happening.
Sure.
But then everyone makes that, so it's the same as if I took a rock from the Grand Canyon, it wouldn't hurt anything. But if everyone did, then there'd be no Grand Canyon or something.
Are you not supposed to take?
I can't remember. It's it's the petrified forest.
Ah.
That's the one you're not supposed to take stuff from.
Right.
But the only way you make peace with it is when you see lions, tigers, foxes, raptors, birds, the bird raptors, falcons, hawks. They eat meat and they have no remorse. And that's the only way I can make peace with it.
There's other sentient creatures who have no remorse, at least that they have communicated to us.
Right. And they're way more violent and horrific with their...
Well, one could make the argument. They do, like lions and tigers, they kill their prey really fast. As fast as they can, anyway.
Right.
If they're taking down like an elephant, it takes quite a long time.
Right.
But they go for the throat.
Right.
You could make the argument that they're doing that so they don't have to fight as hard. Others could say maybe they do feel bad.
Maybe.
And they're trying to kill it as quick as they can.
Sure doesn't look like it, though.
It's true.
Really, we're herbivores, right?
We're omnivores.
What's an herbivore then?
It's a vegetarian.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, omnivore.
A carnivore is a meat only.
Okay, I got it mixed up. Anyway, omnivore, which is, I believe, the same as a bear.
Yeah, bears eat berries and also fish.
Basically, we should just be eating berries and fish.
Just like a bear.
We'd probably be really healthy if we just ate like a bear.
Or primates.
That's true. They eat bugs and stuff, huh? For their protein.
Yeah, because the chimp was the first that Jane
they
Goodall.
Eat ants.
Yeah, she saw them use a stick inside to find termites.
I
and
don't want
ants.
to eat termites. Let's do the bear. I can eat fish.
Let's
salmon.
go the bear way.
I like salmon, and hibernating sounds kind of nice.
I don't understand hibernating.
What? They're like,
what are they doing? Like, I get it.
They're just sleeping, man.
I understand the concept, but like, do they gotta take a shit?
I guess they just kind of leave it in.
They have cubs while they're hibernating.
Do they?
Yeah, because the cubs come out, like with the mom. I don't know. Maybe not.
I haven't done any research.
I feel like when I watch
I
Planet
don't know.
Earth,
I don't know.
The polar bear came out of the cave with cubs.
Other animals, like the desert tortoise hibernates.
A lot of animals hibernate.
And you can take your desert tortoise and just put them in a closet for like 6 months.
Do bears actually never eat while they're hibernating?
I guess. I don't know if they wake up at any point to refresh.
We'll put this on TikTok and let people just
yell
light
at
the
us.
living shit out of us.
They do like to do that.
Yeah.
apparently we were all wrong about
time travel. Listen,
'Cause,
we weren't
you know-
talking about specifics. I don't even care about any mathematician's theory. I'm talking about what I think.
I like the ones that like these guys are idiots. Like, well, yeah.
You clearly
I
don't know
think
what you're
at
talking
any
about.
point that we never put a physics degree up or from
No,
Harvard or
no.
anything.
That being said, there were some people saying
Back to
that
the Future
Hawking
fans.
never said we could go back, and I said nay.
We talked about
because
this
you-
last episode.
Yes, in his last book.
Yeah.
So his
What'd you-
early theories,
Yeah.
he said forward only.
Right.
In his last book, right before he died, he dropped this bomb.
I wonder what other bombs he had.
You know, he probably didn't actually think that. He just thought, I'm dying.
What if he's not dead?
I don't think he's dead.
He's in another dimension.
I don't understand, like, the justice of the universe.
There is none.
I know. It's just weird to think like the arguably the smartest man to live.
Do you think that the illness helped him
No. Not at all.
continue to focus on research and stuff instead of?
No, I don't think so.
So you think he would have been that intelligent?
Because he was a professor,
right.
so that was his job. He was already doing research.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right.
He's like a Neil deGrasse, you know?
He doesn't believe in aliens, so that guy.
He doesn't?
No. He's not
that's right.
He's not as smart as Stephen Hawking. He's like he just
And I don't think
he's
he
like,
claims to be.
He's like a news reporter. He just delivers the news. He doesn't
Right.
come up with any of his own, you know.
That's
theories.
true. That is another level. He is an astrophysicist,
Right.
Who learned all the theories. Maybe he probably had to write his own to get
He
his.
didn't. Maybe I don't know how that.
To get his
I
PhD,
don't
he'd
know.
have to write some sort of thesis.
Speaking of theses, and justice in the universe,
There is no justice. You're right.
there isn't. It's very hard to wrap your brain around.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's very sad. Anyway, a boy, a 9-year-old boy, in Indiana. They bought a new used car. They bought a used car. His family did.
Okay.
Yeah, not the 9-year-old.
He's 9. Okay.
And he's helping him clean out this Suburban that they bought in September. And
The 9-year-old's helping like his dad
yeah,
or something?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And he finds $5,000 in cash in the car.
Wow.
Okay. What do you do in this situation? Now,
As
you're
is.
you're more morally sound than me sometimes, and
I think I would keep it. I will say there's one caveat.
yeah,
If I bought it off an individual. If I bought it at a dealership, no, man, that's my money, right? As is.
I'm trying to see if it.
If I bought it off an individual and the way that the money was found was like clearly they just accidentally left this, these 50-hundreds. Like, you know what I mean?
right. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if that was the situation.
But even then I still might.
It's $5,000. It's not like it's gonna alter your life dramatically so much where people are gonna be like, "Hey, where did you get all that money?"
I might. Yeah, you know what we should find then?
Huh?
Let's find the limit.
Just put it.
No, let's
Put
find
it
the
to
limit.
the car. Anyway, well, let me finish and tell you. So apparently, this family or this boy never thought about keeping the money once, which is
Come
total
on, who
bull-
is this? Mike Pence's
Yeah,
son?
that's
Get
total
out of here.
horse. If it were Mike Pence's son, this wouldn't be a news story at all because he definitely
Well,
would have kept the
it's
money.
just the fakeness of it, though.
Yeah.
Mike Pence would plant $5,000
That's actually
just
you're
to
right. That
say
is
he
accurate.
found it. Right.
Anyway, so this kid returns the money, or his family did, or whatever, and he got a reward of $1,000 from the owner. And here I'm thinking, fuck that. I could have had $5,000, and now I'm just sitting here with $1,000.
Right. So it was from bought it from an individual.
It doesn't say.
I think there's a lot of variables that I would take into account. Like the person's lifestyle, how hard up do they look?
Do you remember how Brent and I stole a piano?
What?
No, you remember when we lived at Branberry?
No, I don't.
And we lived in an apartment complex in Provo.
Right.
you remember this, and
Don't
somebody,
keep saying you know
but
what you're
I'm
doing
just
right
saying-
now. You're doing a Matt Gaetz to
No,
Tucker
I
Carlson.
know. But someone left a piano in our apartment when we moved in.
like a keyboard? Or
no,
like
a
an
full
upright?
upright piano.
Wow.
And we lived there for a long time. Long
Yeah.
enough, I think it was 2 years. Long enough where it became,
It was abandoned
it
property.
was legally our property.
Right.
And they came back for it. And we totally told them to go F themselves.
Really? You didn't even let them
I
in?
feel so bad about it. It was spearheaded by Brent. Brent was the
I bet it was. He's not here to defend
Yeah.
himself.
Well, there was 4 of us in the decision.
What
It
did
was-
you guys? So they knocked on the door.
They knocked on the front door, the back door.
How did you
they
know it was them?
pleaded with us. They said it was like their grandma's piano or something.
So did you open the door at one point?
I think so.
You're seriously embarrassed right now.
I
and it's
am,
crazy.
man. I feel so
You're
bad.
such a good person.
I feel so bad for being involved in it. But we were 20-something.
So
and
So I'm just trying to get it right. You're there for a while.
yeah.
Was this like a year in?
I think it was more, but
Okay.
yeah.
Someone knocks on the door.
I can't remember if they knocked on the door
Or
or if they
called?
contacted the apartment complex and then they contacted us.
Okay.
But they did come
So
and try to break into our apartment.
one way or another, you knew that they, on the people knocking on your door were trying to get this piano,
Yeah, and they gave us a sob story, and I don't remember the specifics.
and
but
you guys just I want to know what was said to
I
them.
don't know. It was a long time ago, and Brent really did most of the talking.
Like, he just legitimately said,
There's no way if it was just me that I would have caved. I would have caved.
Right.
Like, yeah, take it. I don't want to move it. Take it.
So it wasn't like he didn't lie and say the piano's not here anymore.
Oh no, they could see it through the window.
He just said, no, you can't come in. This is my house. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, we sold it.
Yeah, I think. Oh man, I think I would have caved as well.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't.
But
I don't remember a lot of the specifics.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm
it's-
glad you feel bad about it because
it's if I ever saw, I don't know who those people were, but if I
Right.
ever,
your face even turned a little red.
I felt
man.
bad,
I
man.
know.
I felt bad, and I really haven't thought about it since.
You've compartmentalized
Oh.
it. Well, we need Brent's side of
But
the
this
story.
is different. They bought that Chevy Suburban fair and square.
Right. No, I think, man, that's tough. How much did you buy the Suburban for? Right.
Yeah. And
If you
what
bought
if
it
you
for
could
like-
pay it off and not have a car payment?
Right. If you bought it for like $30,000 and you found $5,000, you'd be like, nah, whatever.
They asked the 9-year-old what he thinks, and he's just like, I've just been thinking of all the stuff I could buy. Imagine what you could have bought with
Right.
$5,000, 9-year-old.
What you're thinking of, you could have bought 5 of.
Also, do you think the parents would have let him hold on to that and he'd be like, oh, we got to give that back to the owner. Wink, 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 wink.
You got a
wink.
reward.
And then the next day, new washer and dryer.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
hey, we're going to IHOP. Not IHOP. What's a nice Ruth Chris Steakhouse tonight?
Going to IHOP.
My I don't know why IHOP was the first. As if that's nice going out for me.
Right,
Like,
right.
oh my gosh, I got a bonus at work today. You know where we should go?
Let's get in our Sunday
The
best.
steakhouse? No, IHOP.
They have steak there.
Oh, they do, and it's something.
It's something. Well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out what my limit would be.
I don't know that I'd have a limit.
Like if you bought, there's so many things that matter.
I guess if there was a story on the news that was like family looking for
Family lost $5,000
for $5,000 for crutches or whatever, they're gonna die without it. You know, even then they'd probably get someone to open up a GoFundMe and get like $100,000. So F that.
Right. I got a story about GoFundMe, but I don't know. If I bought a car for like $3,000 and I found $100,000 in it, it might be to the point where you're like, I'm scared if I tell.
No, I'm pretty sure we've talked about this before because I remember I went on a jog back in 2018 or something, and I saw a backpack just lying there, and I was like,
"It's a dead drop.
I want to grab that."
It was,
and we talked about if it was $1 million, would you turn it in? I was like, hell no fucking way, man.
It was probably a
This
bait
is a
bag.
drug deal, man.
Had a chain on it. You seen
Yeah.
those videos?
Or would you give it to the police? No, man. F that. No.
I mean, you might get killed. But
that's the only thing. Then you got to move, right?
Well, because even if you gave it to the police, like you'd be on the news.
Right. It'd
then
be
the-
safest
Yeah.
if you just kept it and moved away.
The cartel sees you on the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
fine.
got a hit. GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this cop
Go fund yourself.
in Idaho.
Oh, I think I did see that.
He posted a TikTok making fun of LeBron
Oh, I didn't see that.
after that teenage girl was stabbed or shot by the police. LeBron tweeted something that he later deleted.
Oh, yeah. He was like, "Your next pig" or something.
He didn't say pig, but yeah.
Oh.
But then this cop made a TikTok that was essentially, he was pretending to be on the phone with LeBron as he approached a scene where someone was trying to kill someone else with a knife, and he was pretending to tell LeBron, "No, it's a white person," and LeBron says like, "Oh, you can shoot them then," and the cop's like, "Oh, so you only care if it's a cop shooting a black person?" Anyway, it's this whole thing that he does, satire, right?
Right.
He gets suspended for a week because he's in uniform.
Fair enough.
In his police car, in his unit. And his best friend set up a GoFundMe
Oh, come on.
because he didn't want to because he no pay, suspended with no pay for 1 week. That was the punishment, 1 week. And last I checked, not only had he signed a book deal in the time he was off. He's writing a book called
A book deal?
Never Off Duty. The GoFundMe last I checked was at $520,000. Like, can I make an offensive video and then you start a GoFundMe when I get fired from my job?
There's so many stupid things that people get all this money for.
Yeah.
Like the kid who he was just trying to start a business and you know, this 14-year-old that start to mow lawns. He just needed the money to buy a lawnmower. Next thing you know, he's got $300,000. Like, what?
Right.
What do I got to do
I know,
to get
man.
$300,000?
GoFundMe, there's a virality of GoFundMe. These go viral, and I'm eternally grateful for the people who donated to my dad when he had pancreatitis. But, man, I was hoping it would go viral.
But it doesn't. It's always these stupid ones.
Yeah. This cop made an offensive TikTok. It was satire. I even had a buddy at work show it to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, "What do you think of this?" I'm like, "It's funny as in satire, but it's in poor taste." You know what I mean? Like, it's yeah, ha, it's funny, but it's in poor taste with the whole situation. Like, you're a cop making fun of situations where cops are killing black. Anyway.
Also, it should be noted, LeBron took a lot of heat for that because he said, "Who's next?"
He said, "You're next," referring to the cop.
But that's not. He posted that right after the verdict. What's his name's verdict?
Right. He didn't.
And what he meant to say was, "You're next," as in we're gonna put you in. Yeah, not like I'm gonna come cut you and destroy you. And even though
I don't understand why any celebrity tries to delete tweets anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Just
really just own it.
Yeah, just own it. Like,
I deleted that though. Well.
Well, I'll delete my screen
all is
grab.
forgiven then. You know, it's cool.
Right. Yeah.
I said that when I was emotional. Oh well.
Yeah. So Lex Scott,
taken back.
The reason I stumbled upon this, not only had I seen the video already, but Lex Scott, the president of Black Lives Matter Utah, posted a TikTok of it, like a stitch.
Is she all related to Lex Luthor?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'll have to check.
Okay.
But she posted a TikTok like, "Look, go report this GoFundMe for this fucker." Like, you know. Anyway, I don't know what kind of recourse.
I wouldn't have done that because that's just going to get more of the right-wing radicals that are like, "Oh no, let's make this guy a millionaire.
Let's donate to the racist."
Yeah. I mean, they donate to Trump, and even though it's pretty obvious that that he's
stolen all their money, man. I'm waiting for the class action.
Right?
Like, there's
class actions are they're so stupid.
They are, but
because the only people who make any money are the lawyers. Then you get a check in the mail for like $5. There was a $2.9 billion settlement, and here's your cut, $5. Cool.
Dude, he's gonna go to jail, man.
Who?
Trump.
No, he's not.
I think he's gonna go to jail.
Yeah, we've been saying that for like 4 years.
But now we actually know a grand jury has been assembled and convened in New York.
We'll see.
I mean,
that'd be cool, but you know, he's Trump, man. He's
he's slippery.
Who knows what kind of he's gonna get put in jail, and then he'll become a martyr, and there'll be a religion that started after him.
Well, man, I think he already announced his candidacy.
Did he?
I think so.
Oh.
On his own platform, whatever it's called, like from the desk of Donald J. Trump or something.
Well, I hope he picks the My Pillow guy as his running mate.
Oh man. It's My Pillow. They're all suing each other for like $1 billion each. You know,
Right.
it's pretty funny.
Stupid.
Anyway, so I was just talking about my dad. Let's go here.
Okay.
Let's go here. Last night, or 2 days ago, Ashley's like, "Hey, there's something wrong with the sink. I
Okay.
can hear it leaking."
Oh.
I'm like, "Fuck! I hate plumbing is so gross.
It's true.
I hate it.
There's
you know,
species in there
I clean my
sometimes.
traps.
I frequently like to poop in the sink, so.
I know, man. You go upper decker, like yeah.
No, for sure.
And so I'm looking at it, and it's bad. It's like going back. It's from the sink in the kitchen. It goes behind our dishwasher, and then into a cabinet, and then downstairs to the main sewer.
It's bad. It's real bad.
It's so I'm like, well, I can maybe get like a temporary fix because I can feel the hole, like it's as big as my pinky, right? I can feel a couple. I'm like, maybe I can just seal this off with some plumber's tape and then like the silicone magic tape shit,
Right.
and then I'll deal with it for real
Whenever it breaks again.
whenever I feel like it, you know. And I called my dad because it's just the separation of generations that is so apparent to me.
It's true.
Right? My dad's a Gen Xer. He's born in 1960. Actually, he's a boomer, technically. He's right on the edge of boomer and Gen X. And then you and I are right on the edge of Gen X and millennial. In fact, we're known as geriatric millennials.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a new term every 6 months for
All
us.
right,
We were
right.
born in the mid-'80s.
Right.
So, anyway, I call him. He's like, yeah, I think I know what we need to do. I'm like, okay, you have to cut it and unthread it, blah, blah, blah. It's iron, by the way. The house was built in the 60s.
Oh.
Or whatever the shit is, steel. I don't know. So, he's like, send me some pictures, too. I'll send them to my friend Larry. Larry's a plumber.
Of course. Everyone has a friend named
Right.
Larry who is a plumber.
Right. And Larry's a great guy.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So, Ash and I and Quinn are going swimming today.
In the feces?
Yeah, in the kitchen sink. No, down at a friend's house,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like an hour away or so. So we go down there, and while I'm literally sitting by the pool, my dad calls, and I answer it on my watch. I'm like, "Hello, sorry, you're on my watch," and he's like, "Hey, do you have any pliers?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "Well, I'm at your house trying to get your dishwasher out." I'm like, "What are you doing? Don't do this. Don't do this." I'm like, I think there's probably some downstairs. You can go look. But well, no, I mean, but I think I think I told him that. Don't do this, but they're downstairs.
On the right in the second drawer.
Right. I think I said it in the reverse order, okay? I told him where they were because he said he was going to come stock a vending machine.
Okay.
And then, so I was like, but why do you need pliers? And he's like, I'm trying to do this. I said, please, just don't, man. Like, we'll figure it out,
Don't pay that bill for me. Don't. The signature's right there, but don't write me that check.
Here's your
Don't-
checkbook.
don't- yeah.
And we come home like 4 hours later, and our door's open, right? My dad's underneath the sink, and he has replaced like a 6-foot section of pipe
Ugh.
with ABS, right?
Right.
And like he had to get a sawzall and cut it out, then unthread it, right? I have here a piece. I just want to show you.
Poop?
This is from the kitchen sink.
Like I said.
This house was built in the 60s.
Right. The golden time for architecture.
This first.
Ew.
Let me see. Got to look at the camera. First, that is the hole. One of the holes that I felt.
Yeah, I don't know that tape would have.
No, and I didn't see this though. But that actually wasn't letting water through.
Yeah, you think?
Right. This
is poop.
I just get the camera right there. This is how my water was getting out of my sink, and the sink never seemed slow to me. Like I do dishes in there all the time. But dude, look, it's like not even a pencil width.
No.
That was going through. This is the kitchen sink.
How is it running now?
Well, great.
How's the flow?
Well, but this is the sewer. This is the drain.
What's interesting is that's probably exactly what my arteries look like.
This is the drain, though. This isn't the.
Oh, I see.
This isn't the.
Oh, you know what that is? It's all grease and stuff you've been putting down there. Stop it.
It's a fatberg.
Yeah,
that
basically. That's what you're not supposed to put grease down the drain. You know that, right?
This is my. Yeah,
you don't know that.
Yes, I do know that.
You know it now.
I poured it in a can.
You know it now.
My mom always taught me pour it in a can, but this it made me think like, are homeowners regularly getting their pipes snaked?
No,
they should.
Yes.
It should be like regular maintenance because this like corroded through the metal.
Yeah.
Over time.
Well, they don't use metal anymore.
Well, no, they're plastic. They're ABS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, now I just want to redo the whole sewage system of my house.
Yeah.
All the way down to the ground.
Yeah, you should do that.
It's gross. But the point of the Gen X, are you still looking at it?
Looks like a cigarette, like a giant cigarette.
It does. The whole point of that, besides that my dad's awesome, is just that Gen X,
it's true.
Boomers and
my dad, born in 52.
He's a boomer.
So growing up, whenever I would break something or when I had my car and I broke something on it or whatever, no matter how bad it was, whatever it was, I knew that he'd be able to fix it somehow. Like maybe he'd have to jerry-rig something or whatever, but he's just good like that, you know. And
what did your dad do, by the way? Or does he do?
He just retired. He was electronics, kind of like
an engineer.
No, just like a fixer upper. I don't really know.
Well,
he's done a lot of various things. He worked for a microfiche company for a while, fixing like
microfiche readers.
What the word I'm looking for is escaping me. I guess technician or maintenance or
sure.
Yeah.
So I mean, so same thing. Like, I mean, he's obviously fixing stuff, right? Mm-hmm. My dad was a social worker and a therapist,
right?
And throughout my childhood, he rebuilt like 2 engines in our cars. That you know, the timing belt broke, and it busted a valve, so he took the whole engine apart. I'm like, what? Where's the what? I don't have this trait.
I don't know. I don't either. And it might be just the way they were. I don't know, Mike.
Like I was gonna call a plumber.
My dad, he did a lot of stuff on his own because his parents got divorced, and I don't know. He took care of his younger brothers, and I don't know. Maybe that just happened a lot more, or maybe things were easier to fix then. I don't know.
I mean, like I was looking at this problem in the pipe, and I knew what needed to be done, essentially to fix it.
Right.
Never really done anything like it.
They didn't even have YouTube. How the?
My dad, I asked him once because he built 2 of our houses. And did like the electrical work, did the plumbing. Sometimes he'd have Larry come by and help out with like something tricky.
Of course.
I asked him one time, how did you learn how to plumb? He's like, I went to the library and checked out a little pamphlet. I'm like, a pamphlet? From the library?
Huh.
He's like, yeah, I read this pamphlet and learned how to plumb a house. I'm like, oh, all right, man.
My
whatever.
dad watched a lot of This Old House and stuff. And I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's certain things that I'm pretty confident that I can fix. I don't like to mess with electricity. Plumbing, there's a certain point I kind of draw the line at, and that's normally when it starts to involve feces.
It's so gross. Even non-feces holding pipes.
Yeah, I mean,
are just nasty.
Yeah, it's gross.
Like the trap under your bathroom sink. If you're listening, go unscrew the trap underneath your bathroom sink and just.
Like I've replaced a
waft it. Don't smell it. Waft it.
I've put in a toilet before by myself.
Sure.
I've put in a sink by myself. A garbage disposal. I've changed one of those out before.
Yeah.
But that's probably the extent of.
Now I'm thinking though, like as a homeowner, I'm gonna every couple years, I'm gonna have someone come snake all my pipes.
Is that a thing that they do?
I don't know, but I'm going.
Yeah,
I
guess it is.
They advertise it. It's kind of like getting your ducts cleared.
It goes to the street. You want that one cleared,
right?
Especially if you got old pipes and tree. You should really do that because you have a tree in the front yard.
Not anymore.
Well, I know, but there were roots, right? So those roots get into this stuff, and they just. My mom almost had to spend like.
Well, it's too late now.
Like $20,000.
First of all, that tree's dead now, and if it was going to interfere,
I don't know. It may be in there, just
Yeah.
waiting for a fatberg to clog it up.
Freaking fatbergs, man.
Gun control, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna talk about Tulsa too, I guess, huh?
Well, it's
this transition's great. There was another mass shooting in Florida this week. Well, actually, there was like a couple, but
since we recorded last, there was the one in California.
Yeah.
At the rail yard.
But the one that just happened didn't kill anybody, but shot like 20 people. So that's.
I think a couple people died.
Oh, really?
That's,
Last I heard,
I'll look
it
while
wasn't,
you're
but
looking it up.
the one at the rail yard, people did. But
Yeah.
anyway, I was perusing Facebook today.
2 killed.
And I came upon this. Have you ever watched Key and Peele?
Of course.
On Comedy Central?
Yeah.
I thought I'd seen all their sketches, but I keep coming upon ones that I've never seen before.
Aren't they still doing it?
I thought they stopped, but maybe they are.
stopped.
I don't know, because they're famous like directors and stuff now, or
Well, at least Jordan is. Yeah.
Oscar nominations, and Key just hosted Saturday Night Live.
He did. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is a sketch that I thought was just pretty spot on here. Food for thought. They are gathered here.
The Second Amendment of the Constitution
Writing the
states
Second
that
Amendment.
a well-regulated militia, being necessary for the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Hear, hear.
Yes. Please, gentlemen, we need all of your signatures.
Gentlemen, a point of order. What if someone made a gun that could shoot, say, 50 people in 30 seconds?
Congressman Peel, we have many orders of business today, one of which is not, judging your sense of humor, prodigious as it may be.
Then one man would be able to walk into a crowded area and kill scores upon scores of people before anyone would have a chance to stop him.
Congressman Peel, where are you getting these harebrained ideas? How could you possibly know what the future holds?
Because I am from the future. I know what this amendment will bring, and I cannot let any of you sign it.
Oh man.
It's interesting, right? Because I've never thought about this before, but when the Second Amendment was written, it took like 5 minutes to load a gun.
You never thought about that before?
I haven't. I never.
Oh, man. That's like the most frequent argument.
Right? I mean, you had to powder it,
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta dump the powder, the paper.
This is
the,
like
the bullet. Yeah.
The earliest rifling had just barely.
These are muskets.
Barely happened,
Right.
and I just never put that together.
Right.
That
these guns were still piecemeal at this point.
Right.
They weren't. There was no.
Yeah, it was basically just a hollowed out stick with.
Right. It's a freaking. We're one step past a blunderbuss.
Right.
It's a musket.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. This is one of the most frequent arguments that gun rights or gun control advocates have. Is like when this was written. Come on. And it's an easy because you can follow it to its logical end with anybody that's saying, well, no, I mean they just, that's what they meant is just to have any arms. I'm like, so can I go buy a tank?
Right.
Can I have an F-35? Right.
Yeah, if you've got $1 billion, sure.
Yeah. All right. So aerial assaults, F-35.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So were you familiar with the Tulsa race riot?
I was not. I am still not. I mean.
So the New York Times.
I guess I'm a little bit. No, I've heard about it this week because it was the 100th anniversary.
Yes, there are survivors still alive. A couple.
Right.
I'm going to put this up on the screen.
You know why?
What?
Black doesn't crack. That's not racist. That's fact.
All right. Fair enough.
And it's a compliment. It's a racist compliment.
Yeah. I'm scrolling all the way up, by the way. So the New York Times has done this fascinating thing. They rebuilt Glenwood, which is a suburb of Tulsa, which was a prosperous black neighborhood. It was actually called Black Wall Street.
Oh.
Very wealthy, relatively wealthy black people.
Well, that doesn't look great.
Yeah. So they took pictures and old renderings or, I don't know, newspaper stuff and rebuilt the city in this 3D model, okay?
Oh, cool.
So this happened in 1921. I'll go over what happens here in a sec, but I'll just wanted to scroll down. It's really cool what the Times did here, New York Times. So this is like one road. Across these tracks was Tulsa proper, where all the white people lived. And then this was Glenwood, which was just a very, very nice area. Had lots of shops, doctors, lawyers. This is cool. So you keep scrolling here and it gets to the meat of the article. I actually saw this in the print version. I didn't see this until today. These are all the buildings I think that were destroyed. So here's what happened. I'll just kind of recount. I can't think of what that word is now.
Recamp?
Recount. Recount the story.
Recant.
No, that's like to take something back.
Hmm.
Anyway, so there's an actual composite image of many images of the actual thing happening. So here's how it began. 2 teenagers in an elevator in the Drexel building in downtown Tulsa. So in white Tulsa, okay? There is a girl, Sarah Page. She's 17 years old. She's an elevator operator. And a 19-year-old black boy, Dick Rowland, man, 19, I guess if you call a man, I don't know. He was a young shoe shiner.
Right.
And she comes running out of the elevator screaming, saying that she was assaulted by Dick Rowland. She later recanted. She later took it back and said that's not what happened. So no one really knows, but like the Times reports, Mr. Rowland, it's one theory suggests he tripped and grabbed onto the arm of Miss Page while trying to catch his fall. She screamed and ran away. The next day, he was arrested and jailed in the Tulsa County Courthouse. By that afternoon, the Tulsa Tribune published a front-page news story with the headline, "Nabbed Negro for Attacking Girl in Elevator," which essentially mobilized a lynch mob that showed up at the courthouse. So it wasn't a huge group at the beginning. Like 20 white men showed up wanting to lynch this young man.
Mm-hmm.
And the crowd just kept growing. This is just after World War I.
Okay.
Right? This is 1921. So a group of armed black Tulsans from Glenwood went to the courthouse to protect Dick Rowland. They actually called the sheriff.
Dick Rowland is the
black
black
man.
guy. Okay.
Yeah. Who allegedly assaulted this young woman.
Right.
So they called the sheriff and said, we can come protect him. He was being held in like the top floor of the courthouse in a jail cell. Okay. Sheriff said no. They came back again with a bigger group to protect him, and the white mob or white group was still getting bigger. So as they're leaving the second time, a white man...
Now, are you sure that this white group wasn't just visiting, doing a tour of...
They were doing a tour. They were there to hear their parking tickets, basically.
Oh.
You know.
Okay.
All right. As the black men were leaving the second time, a white man attempted to disarm a black veteran. They actually got in their uniforms.
Mm-hmm.
They had like pistols and rifles.
Mm.
And a gun went off in the scuffle. And that clash and others that day marked the beginning of what would become Greenwood's armed destruction. Some white rioters were even deputized and given weapons by civil officials.
Smart.
Yeah. Near dawn, the white mob descended on Greenwood. Black Tulsans fought back, valiantly defending their family and properties, but they were woefully outnumbered. So here's a map. You can see Tulsa proper across the train tracks into Greenwood. And this yellow is basically everything that burned. Okay? It's like 35 blocks. Oh. The mob indiscriminately shot black people in the street. Members of the mob ransacked homes and stole money and jewelry. They set fires house by house, block by block. This is where this is insane to me. Terror came from the sky, too. White pilots flew airplanes that dropped dynamite over the neighborhood, making the Tulsa aerial attack what historians call among the first of an American city.
Huh.
Like, there's only been... I can only think of 2 other aerial attacks.
What are the what?
9/11 in Pearl Harbor.
Oh, Pearl Harbor, of course.
I don't know what they're referring to here, right? The numbers at the end: 35 blocks burned to the ground, as many as 300 dead. They're in mass graves, by the way, that they're finding now. 8,000 to 10,000 left homeless. More than 1,470 homes burned or looted. I think the other number for completely destroyed was 1,250 houses that I read. And then they eventually, the black group gave up, and they detained in camps in Tulsa, in makeshift internment camps, 6,000 black people. One of the founders of Glenwood, I believe his name was Stratford. He had a really nice hotel. It was fairly new. Everything was fairly new in this area. They destroyed a church that had just been built. Anyway, he stayed in his hotel from a second-story window and was firing onto the white mob. Eventually, they said, "Come out, and we won't destroy your hotel," right? And so
he shouldn't have done that.
He comes out, surrenders. They immediately torches the hotel. There were two well-to-do black men who started Glenwood. So no one was prosecuted. Nothing ever happened. They just, the way the Times put it, the final insult of the massacre came in the silence. Tulsa deliberately ignored and covered up what had happened in Greenwood. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never heard about this.
It's unbelievable that this, I just don't understand how this can happen and nothing,
Really?
no recourse. No, I get how it happens.
You remember how all those World War II people got away with everything?
I get it.
And became like engineers and scientists in our rocket programs.
Right. There is a pending lawsuit about whether to compensate the families of Tulsa massacre victims because, one thing that, some people don't realize is when we talk about privilege, we're talking about the head start that some people have, right? That white people have. Let's just, you for example, let's just look at your life.
Okay.
And say, if your dad had been killed when you were young, would your life be different now?
Ish.
Yeah. If you grew up in a house that was bought, right? Paid for, there was money in the family.
Right.
Not a lot. And so the problem that a lot of people don't understand is that black people who are descendants of slaves or descendants of something like this don't have anything. Everything was taken. So that's the head start that we're talking about when we talk about privilege.
Right.
Among other things, like being able to berate a police officer without being shot. That's one of the biggest things. So it's interesting here that they're talking about this, and Tulsa is opposed to any type of, reparation, to use
What? You're telling
buzzword.
me a city in Oklahoma?
The reddest state.
No. That's not possible. Oklahoma is known for...
But it wasn't just, these guys were insured, and insurance companies refused to pay out.
Oh.
So there was another level of... So these guys had things set up for their family, for the future, right? I own this shop in town. I'll be able to pass it along to my son or daughter. It'll keep going. And then it was destroyed, and you got nothing from insurance companies. You got no help from the government. No one was even prosecuted for destroying your shop, all because a teenage girl claimed that a teenage boy assaulted her. I'm not blaming her, obviously, right? I'm blaming racism.
Careful.
Anyway, yeah, 100-year anniversary.
You said she recounted?
Recanted.
Oh my gosh, I almost just said
she
something.
did. Her name was Sarah Page, if you want to look it up. Sarah Page, I believe.
That was close.
There's a lot to this story, though. So I encourage anybody to look up the Tulsa race riot. I couldn't believe that they were dropping dynamite. Even after they had captured all the black men and all the people had given up, they systematically went house to house and lit them on fire. So it wasn't just like, we captured them, well, all right. They burned down the whole neighborhood.
Well, it's Oklahoma.
I don't understand. Man,
have you ever been to Oklahoma?
I have not. I have not been to Oklahoma.
Oh, real quick. This is funny. So transition to something funny. While I was in Oklahoma recently, I took an Uber ride, and my driver was younger. He's probably 5 years younger than me. Oh, wait. How old am I now? 10 years younger than me. Anyway, he's going back to medical school after some time away from school. He decided to go back.
Wow.
And he's like, and I was like, man, that's great, because school for me was stupid. It was just writing papers. And he's like, yeah, I'm doing a lot of that. I'm like, if I was back in school right now, I tell you what, I'd never write another paper again. I'd use Fiverr. And he was like, what? What's Fiverr?
It's like
you get guys in India to write papers for you for like $10.
It's like Quagmire discovering internet porn.
And at the end of the conversation, he's like, dude, thank you. Like, sincerely, like that's gonna change everything.
Is he
like,
going to his undergrad or going to
no?
medical
He's
school?
got his undergrad. I
He's
guess.
going to medical school.
Yeah, I'm just like I changed his life. You know, he's gonna have more free time to do his side hustles and everything. Because India, some guy in India or China or something. I just told him maybe go over the grammar after.
Right. Do a quick grammar check in Word.
I wouldn't, though. I would, honest to God, I would never write another paper if I was in college right now. I'd have someone do it.
I'm trying to remember how many of my classes required papers.
Dude, every one of my classes, it was so many. I wrote so many stupid papers.
What was your degree?
Aviation Business Administration.
Oh, so you had all the business classes.
Stupid.
Yeah. I took one business class. I took a marketing class and was like, I never want to come in this building again.
The only class I found somewhat interesting was the human resources class.
Yeah. Little humanity in there.
Yeah, it was just interesting.
Anyway,
Tulsa. Check it out. I'm going to read more about it. We should go. You want to go to Tulsa and check out the sites?
Yeah. So there's like a couple survivors right now that were like, under 10 years old or teenagers at the time. Like one woman, let's see, she would have been 7 years old.
Ooh.
And she was testifying before somebody, I don't know.
Wow.
So she's 107.
Dang.
Yeah. I don't know how many. It's just weird that like it took 100 years for people to start talking about this.
What's going to be, what are we going to be talking about in 100 years from here? From now?
Probably Black Lives Matter. I don't know. The war in Afghanistan.
I got a bunch of Facebook notifications that said that it's been a year since we were at the Capitol building.
Yeah. Well, George Floyd was just last week. It was been a year since his death. Speaking of, I'll just real quick.
Yeah.
I stumbled on some statistics that, they're just kind of interesting. All right. So I found a stat about what are the odds of being killed by the police? Okay. And then I found it by race as well. And then I wanted to find out, well, what are the odds of being killed if you're a police officer? Like, how dangerous is their job? Relatively, right? It's not the most dangerous job. Loggers and fishermen are dangerous.
Have you not seen the show The Deadliest Catch?
Right.
I don't see cops being called The Deadliest Catch. It's called The Deadliest Catch.
Yeah. So it turns out that in 2019, 89 law enforcement officers were killed in the line of duty.
Dang.
There's about 700,000 police officers in the country that year, which equals out to be about 0.12%. 0.012%, excuse me. Your odds. A black man throughout his life has a 1 in 1,000 chance of being killed by the police.
Wow.
just to put that in perspective, that is the same prevalence of psych disorders like schizophrenia, bipolar disorder. 1 in 1,000.
Are you sure about all this? That sounds really high.
I know. So they're almost you're more likely to die because you're a black man than you are because you're a cop.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Yes.
I mean, I don't even know if I would take a job if the interviewer said, "By the way, you got a 1 in 1,000 chance of dying here."
You might.
I don't know, man. I don't. I mean, if I knew that the job was dangerous, right? Like if I was going to be a cop and they said,
I know those Deadliest Catch guys make a lot of money for a couple months of work.
They don't make jack for what they do. Yeah. By the way, the FBI is where I got the stats on the police. And
well, the FBI is infiltrated by the deep state.
Yeah, and then the other one I got for black men was on pnas.org, Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences. So yeah, 1 in 1,000. It's the leading cause of death for young men in the United States. Over the life course, about 1 in every 1,000 black men can expect to be killed by police. That's a horrible way to write that sentence.
Jeez, that's dark.
It peaks between the ages of 20 and 35. Black women and men and American Indian and Alaskan Native women and men are significantly more likely than white women and men to be killed by police. Latino men are also more likely to be killed by police than are white men. Those are stats I think everybody pretty much knew already. But I don't know. I don't know what to think about those numbers.
That's pretty sad.
1 in 1,000. So it's actually, you're more likely to be killed by the police if you're a black man than you are to be killed if you are a police officer. That's a good way of putting it, right?
So it sounds like you should not become a black. Wait, no.
Right. If you had the choice. Yeah. All right.
Huh.
That's enough heavy shit.
You know what? Before we go to break,
yeah,
I want to lighten up this news.
Okay.
I mean, I want to lighten up the segment before we go to random headlines.
What's this CBS News thing? We didn't get to that.
Oh, yeah. Did I put the? Oh, that was about the flight attendant who got punched in the face, isn't it? Actually, I didn't read it. You put that there.
Oh, that's right. I did put this here. Yeah, it's just a.
Yeah, you know,
an unruly passenger that they actually got cuffed. Well, not cuffed, but zip tied. And he broke free from them somehow.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Tried to open the cockpit door.
Oh, that's
yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
You get shot if there's an air marshal probably for that.
Possibly.
Anyway, yeah, he got fined $52,500 from the airline.
What? How is?
And then he'll get.
How is that? Are airlines allowed to fine people?
I don't know how it works.
Like if Delta was like, we're gonna give you a $50,000 fine, I just wouldn't fly Delta anymore. Like I don't know.
Let's see. The airline passenger tried to open the cockpit door and he hit a flight attendant in the face, facing this year's largest fine from the FAA. The FAA handed it down. But then he's also going to face criminal charges,
right,
of assault and probably terrorism.
Probably. Jeez, people are so stupid.
Yeah, and I don't know if this was over a mask or not. It was just
probably
he was probably.
Oops. So to lighten things up.
Yeah. Lighter
news, which we haven't done in a while.
It's true. I mean,
it's just light news, just to liven things up.
It was winter. Not a lot happens with, with lighters.
A hot cigarette lighter ignited a car seat, leading to a vehicle fire Tuesday at a business in Louisiana. According to
you push the thing in, it gets hot. You take it out,
and you put it on your seat.
Or did it pop out with such force?
Well, actually, it says right here, according to the Scott Fire Department, which I guess is the name of the city, or
Scott
owns the fire department. I don't know. The owner of the
according to Scott's fire department.
the owner of the vehicle lit a cigarette and then placed the hot lighter on the car seat, just as you speculated.
Yeah.
We should be freaking crime scene investigators.
Well, at least for fires.
And then, why does it even explain all this? Which ignited materials that had been left on the seat. Okay. The fire then spread to the rest of the... Oh, I wouldn't have anticipated that happening.
The fire investigator gets there, and the guy starts talking. He's like, hang on.
Let me tell you.
Let me tell you how it happened.
What happened.
Let me guess. You pushed it in. It got hot. You lit your cigarette.
And put it on the seat.
Put it on the seat.
No. It didn't lit materials.
It lit materials.
Yes, it did. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You know, either way, your insurance isn't going to be happy about this. So.
Oh, man. Speaking of vehicle fires, I saw like an instant karma TikTok.
Oh, no.
Of a sailboat that had a pride flag, and this power boat was circling them, flipping them off, and then their boat caught on fire. And the people in the pride sailboat picked them up and saved them.
Huh. I guess God doesn't hate.
It's like, man, I don't know. I don't know if I would. I might, I'll throw him a life jacket and then take off.
Even that.
This is like the $5,000. What would you do? Someone was just flipping you off.
I don't know. Are there any, attractive women? Oh, they're gay. Never mind.
They're flipping you off. Their boat catches on fire. I don't know.
You know what I would do? I would let them swim up to the boat, grab hold of it, and start to pull themselves up, and then I would put my foot on their face and kick them back in the water.
And take off.
And leave.
Oh, all right.
Or throw them a life preserver filled with rocks and see how that plays out.
Try this, asshole.
No. I'd save them.
I bet you would.
Oh,
whatever, man.
Yeah. I'd save them. All right, when we come back, we've got random headlines, and that'll probably be it, to be honest.
Yep.
All that and not more.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Back. Told you we'd be back.
We don't lie here, unless
Fine.
we do.
If you're just getting out of your car or don't want to listen anymore and you're
then now's the time.
Picking up your phone, you should go to TikTok and search for the Our Take Podcast, or our is at the Our Take
I
Pod.
spent 4 hours on TikTok last week.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know why. I just watched video after video, and next thing I know, it's 1 in the morning, and I'm like, oh, what? And then I still got to have my evening it's I'm not getting to bed early is what I'm saying.
If you're trying to make changes in your life, then go to screen time in your phone settings and look at how much time you spent on
I
different
weigh
things.
myself all the time, and that really hasn't done much. So I don't know that seeing that's really going to do anything. The only thing I've noticed, if I ever watch an episode of My 600-Pound Life, I don't eat the whole day. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
Oh. Have you seen the show before?
Yeah. What if you were super rich, like you found $5,000 in a car you just bought?
$5,000 makes me super rich.
Yeah.
You took that $5,000, you invested in Bitcoin before it got huge, and now you're a billionaire. Anyway, what?
If you were super rich, I think that I might go to someone who, is having a hard time losing weight.
Yeah.
And I'd say, I'll give you $1,000 per pound that you lose and keep off.
I'd still have a fun.
I'll give you $1 million per pound.
All right, now we're talking. I
mean, Bezos has enough.
Yeah.
Right?
How about like 100,000 or 25,000 per pound?
All right. Yeah.
Or 10,000 even. Just 1,000 per pound. So am I gonna get $30,000? What's that gonna do?
I don't know.
Pay off my car, get a good hooker. I mean,
a really good one.
Yeah.
Maybe. What's her name?
I Do they have names?
Galaxia.
Galaxia? There's no way that's not
It's
like
from-
some kind of a Star Trek
What movie?
fantasy porn.
It's from a movie. I can't remember what it's from. Oh, it's from Anger Management.
Oh.
Woody Harrelson plays the
Woody Harrelson.
transvestite
That's funny.
hooker. Anyway.
Oh, okay. So, on to random headlines. And an 11-year-old, and what did I say there? And Anna.
Should just play the intro again and just
start over.
Just come back.
An 11-year-old pianist in Thailand is doing something quite noteworthy.
Oh, come on. Punny news right there. Noteworthy. I love it.
I don't get it. No, I'm just joking. she Oh, it's downstairs to the right. The pliers.
Yeah.
She's performing music for lemurs at a zoo while dressed in an alligator costume.
I think I found her. Here she is.
Why is she dressed in an alligator
Why is she
costume?
playing music for lemurs?
Well, I guess the lemurs like it, and because zoo attendance has been down, it's because of why? I don't know why. What would cause zoo attendance to go down? That's happened in the last year.
I have no idea.
I'm really tired of people going, baseball attendance is down last year because of COVID. Yeah,
Yeah,
we know.
yeah.
You don't need
Shut
to
the
tell
fuck
us.
up.
We were
Yeah.
all there too. Like, we get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so visitation is low, so she comes and she plays music to soothe the animals, to help them feel relaxed and give them company so they're not too lonely. Now, she wears a bright green alligator costume to blend in with her audience, which have included music-loving lemurs, meerkats, hippos, and zebras. Why is she not playing to alligators?
Or humans.
But she's dressed as an alligator, and she's blending in. Like, what lemur or meerkat is like, oh, an alligator, that's really soothing and relaxing. They really take the edge off.
I don't know, man. Like, look at the picture. Almost looks like a painting. It's weird.
All I'm saying is maybe dress like a lemur. You know, an alligator dressing as a predator. That's like, you're in a herd of sheep or gazelle. You see a herd of gazelle, and you dress up as a lion, and you're like, hey, guys, settle down. What's the problem here?
Yeah.
Relax. I'm here to soothe you.
Right.
Anyway.
What are you scared of?
So yeah, I guess lemurs like music. I know my birds, when I turn on certain music, they tend to kind of
My cat,
like it.
Wilson,
Yeah.
big fat cat.
Yeah, I've seen him under the car
I think he
outside.
weighs like 21 pounds.
At least.
Anytime we put on Hotel California, it looks like he's high. Not like catnip high, like excited.
Right.
Like he just like lays down, is all chill. Weird. And it's a pretty long song, so he just loves it. I don't know if he likes other Eagles hits.
He just likes that one Eagles song.
Yeah.
As a whole, he can't stand the Eagles and what they stand for, but Hotel California, this is,
You
it's a
make some
classic.
space. You make some space. Yeah.
I don't know. Music's very powerful, as we've talked about many times before
Yes.
on here. So, I could see it definitely helping.
Makes cats cry.
Helping. I don't know that one of my songs is successful until I've made a cat cry. That's when I know.
test.
When the cat is just like, meow.
We bring it into the studio.
Walter is a friendly grouse. You know what a grouse is?
No.
It's a bird.
Okay.
Kind of looks like a pheasant. Pheasant? Peasant. No, pheasant.
Kind of looks like a proletariat. The pheasant. Yeah.
Oh, so this bird here in the city of New London, which is in New Hampshire, Jesus, got really creative with names, those settlers.
New London, New Hampshire.
Anyway.
Did you say New Hampshire, by the way?
I don't know.
It made me think you were talking about like somewhere in England.
Oh.
Because you said Shire. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. That's probably how it's supposed to be pronounced, New Hampshire. It doesn't look like sure.
That's how it's like Worcestershire.
Hampshire. It's stupid. Anyway, the bird started hanging out last month in the backyard with Westward, who is this guy's name, I guess, while his family was away on a So his family was away on a trip, and he invited a stranger.
Yeah.
This guy has a problem.
I think I found him.
His wife, Mary Beth, posted on Facebook since then, the bird named Walter has made himself a fixture in the yard. What?
It's because he's been stuffed.
I know, right?
This guy can't even smile.
I just thought it was a fluke before we left, Mary Beth Westward said Friday. While we were gone, this bird formed this crazy attachment. He's here every single day. You know, I don't really know how this is a news story. This stuff happens all the time.
This is a random headline. This is what we do.
Yeah, you're right. He runs like a feathered velociraptor. You know, that just shows how unintelligent they are in New London, New Hampshire, because velociraptors were feathered.
Right.
So you could just say he runs like a velociraptor.
You know, I actually know the science here, and I know for a fact that the grouse is a direct descendant
of the
velociraptor.
Well, look at it. Look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. It definitely has to be.
Well, his spine curves back just like a velociraptor.
I'm telling you.
I'm trying to think of what Dr. Grant says on Jurassic Park now.
Oh man, I watched a Things Jurassic Park Got Wrong video the other day. Holy crap, man.
I don't want to.
They are just it's bad,
Listen,
man.
You can suspend.
I know.
Suspend
but
reality.
It was bad. Like most of the dinosaurs weren't even from the Jurassic period.
Right. And the velociraptors are really.
Yeah, those are the most egregious.
Right.
Unless.
Well, they're like 6 feet tall, right? In reality.
No.
Are they shorter?
Yeah, they're tiny except for the one species.
Utah?
The Utahraptor, which I believe wasn't even discovered in 1993.
Nor was it part of the Jurassic period.
Yes. Truth. So
I
yeah,
love Jurassic Park.
they're very small, you know, like ostrich size or smaller.
Yeah. You know,
they're smaller than ostriches. So
it's one of the few fiction novels I've read.
You've read it?
Jurassic
they made
Park.
a movie.
I know.
Why would you?
I know. I don't like reading fiction, but my dad has always said that Jurassic Park. It was good. It was tense. Yeah, Michael Crichton, dude.
I mean, the movie was.
It's a great. It holds up. Have you watched Jurassic Park lately?
No.
It holds up. I don't know how. The robotics, the CGI, it all holds up.
No, they did a good job.
Yeah.
Back, you know, especially for the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. Well, I did, I guess, but I saw that it was made in like '93, and I'm like, what?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not. That's not right. That's not right. Anyway, this grouse is friends with this guy.
We're back on the grouse. All right.
Now moving over to across the pond
to Hampshire,
to Old Hampshire. Anyway, a drug dealer in the English city of Liverpool thought he was the big cheese until police got all the evidence they needed to arrest him for my picture he shared of himself holding, now you're not going to believe this, a small block of cheese. Sorry.
Okay.
A small block of creamy Stilton.
Is this it right here?
Yes. Carl Stewart was sentenced to 13 years and 6 months in prison.
Jeez.
After he pled guilty. Oh, well, he pled guilty to conspiracy to supply cocaine, heroin, MDMA, and ketamine. Jeez.
What?
And transferring criminal property. Were it not for the photo he shared of himself holding the cheese block from the reputable British retailer Marks and Spencer.
What?
I like it. That's the name of the retailer.
Are you going to get to the why this?
Okay. So somehow they took his fingerprints and his palm from this picture.
No.
I didn't know that was a thing that they could do. That's what
serious?
it says. Yeah.
He posted a picture.
So it says he was arrested after he posted the photo on the encrypted messaging service EncroChat via his handle Toffee Force. Unbeknownst to him, the service had been cracked by police in Europe. From that, his palm and fingerprints were analyzed, and police had their man.
What?
When did this become a thing?
What?
I'm scared to take pictures of my hands now.
What is happening? Are you serious? What? I'm looking at the picture. All right, you guys. I'll put this on TikTok so you can go find it. They took his palm print. like
I wonder
somehow
if his fingerprints have been photoshopped out for that particular, because you can't see him at all.
right. Oh man, I hate that. Let me just. That's crazy.
So we're living in a world where
People are singing to lemurs and they're pulling fingerprints off pictures. What the shit is going on?
and velociraptors are pets.
Right. I can't believe this. Read that again.
Okay, this is from Huffington Post.
Okay.
Stewart was arrested after he posted the photo on the encrypted messaging service EncroChat, which had been cracked by police in Europe. From that, his palm and fingerprints were analyzed, and police had their man.
Wow. He was from Gem Street, by the way.
Of course.
The detective said his love of Stilton cheese ultimately led to his downfall.
That's what I've always said.
Established they belong to Stewart.
Stilton cheese.
I'm going to have to look into this more. This seems
I'm
extraordinary.
I'm looking at Quora here. Can fingerprints be pulled off a high-definition digital picture of a wine glass, as seen in the TV show Designated Survivor? The answer is yes, they can, in fact.
Yeah, I mean, the article doesn't do a very good job of explaining
I
where they
know,
came
right? They
from.
buried the lead. Like, who cares
Right.
about the cheese guy? Let's talk about these freaking crazy...
Yeah, because was it a print on the cheese, or was it just looking at his finger?
I think it was just looking at his finger.
It's weird, man.
But this is saying that it can pull it from a picture.
I mean, I guess if you can, enhance.
But I don't know.
I don't.
I mean, if this was like a really high def picture taken from an iPhone,
Right.
then you could manipulate
I'm gonna start wearing finger condoms
I know,
everywhere I
right?
go.
You could manipulate the in Photoshop the colors and the contrast and stuff to pull up certain and probably get a pretty clear shot, but
just
know.
from
you know what I'm gonna do.
He's focused on the cheese. You're gonna do it.
I am. I'm gonna
Yep.
go home. I'm gonna take a picture of my fingerprints and go home and see how clear I can get them.
Let's make this even more real. I'm gonna take a picture holding cheese and post it to Instagram, and then you can go and pull my print
Okay.
from it.
And then match it on the.
I'll touch many things in your house, and you can find which thing I touched. That's crazy. I'm still just blown away. By the way, speaking of drugs, I saw a thing of a new fentanyl, called like corfentanyl or something.
Whoa.
Carafentanyl.
Fentanyl extreme.
So it's like a tiny amount of fentanyl that's lethal.
Right.
Like tiny.
Right.
And then I found a picture of carfentanyl that is even more potent.
I just airdropped a picture to my phone.
Okay.
The very picture of the fingerprints.
Let me see if I can find this picture. I can't remember where I saw it. I mean, like the amount of fentanyl that can kill you, like it's just like a little tiny drop. Oh, there it is. There's a picture right there. Let me put this up. Whoa. So lethal doses. There's a dime for reference. 0.02 milligrams of carfentanyl is lethal. So we already have an opioid issue because of this one, normal fentanyl, and that's being laced with other drugs. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, here's what's happening: drug dealers are lacing heroin
with powdered sugar
with fentanyl. So someone thinks they're getting a normal dose of heroin, and they actually got fentanyl in it, so they OD.
Ooh.
I don't know why dealers are doing that. Maybe to make it more addicting, like because it's stronger, But now you can lace that amount. That's crazy.
Why would you?
Because you can make this in much higher quantities now.
I guess.
Like this, you could sell this to 20 people. You make the same amount of carfentanyl. You could sell it to like 200
How do
people.
you even get high on that? You just.
Well, no, it's laced. Like it's put in other things.
Oh.
I don't know. Most of the time, I think they're making pills, so they have a matrix that they put it in and make a
Guess
pill.
that makes sense.
I didn't even know about this drug though till a couple days ago.
Well, let's try.
So less than a dime of heroin can kill you, and then fentanyl is about 1/8? Would you say 1/6?
It has the numbers right there. It
Oh,
says
right.
1 to 2 milligrams.
So it's 1/10.
Yeah.
1/10. Yeah, because heroin's 10 to 12 milligrams.
0.02 milligrams of Karen fentanyl.
That's a very good. Yeah, it is Karen fentanyl. Yeah.
Carefenton.
They totally-
Carefenton.
I gotta totally call it that, man. Oh man, what is this shit? This is Karen fentanyl.
That's a new brand. This stuff will mess
it'll fuck you up, man.
Up, brother.
It'll make you so pissed.
This is good.
You'll be so angry. Oh.
One last thing I want to play before we leave you tonight.
Okay.
This is from The Simpsons, season 23, episode 19, entitled "A Totally Fun Thing That Bart Will Never Do Again." And in this episode, they go on a cruise.
Okay.
Okay. Season 23 happened in 2012.
Oh no!
So
Come on! No! No!
That's Homer and Marge making whoopee.
This is General William Sullivan with an emergency message. I'm speaking to you from a CDC clean zone. Outbreak of the deadly Pandora virus is spreading rapidly. Unprecedented threat requires a worldwide quarantine. All ships must remain at sea until further. Humanity must endure.
A virus?
Stop the ship!
What should we do?
They're buying it. They're buying it. Chillingly plausible indeed, Joe Morgenstern of the Wall Street Journal.
So Bart doesn't want the vacation to end, so he finds a movie and plays this video. It's a movie about a pandemic.
Dude.
The word pandemic is used later on in the episode, though.
Fucking Matt Groening, man. This is getting it's beyond ridiculous.
I know, right?
Like, you know how people have referred to this as like Pandora as a joke?
Once we reach our exciting and hopefully virus-free destination, romantic Antarctica.
What? Wait, what?
People have referred to it like as the Pandora, like as a joke or because they're stupid.
Right.
And they said it on The Simpsons.
They did. They did.
It's what is like? Has he ever done an interview?
Well,
where he's been asked
he's
about
actually
this?
the second coming of Jesus. People don't believe him because he's a little fat and ugly and weird looking, but that's our Lord and Savior.
That's crazy. 2012.
Time traveler.
9 years.
Yeah.
That's where it started, man. Remember, it was on the Diamond Princess was the cruise ship off the coast of Japan.
Yeah.
That I warned you about because you went to Japan while the ship was still in harbor and everybody was quarantined still.
I don't think it had arrived yet.
It had arrived because you wanted me to go.
I
said there's going to be fucking zombies walking off that ship.
Japan was still super busy, though.
Yeah, because nobody was off the ship yet.
Oh.
They didn't know what to do. Freaking Diamond Princess, I think. In
Yeah.
fact,
there's a documentary about it that's kind of interesting. If you on HBO Max, it's called The Last Cruise.
The Last Worldometers. When you would first track the pandemic, it had cases on the Diamond Princess as one of the counters.
It was. Yeah, it's true. You should watch the documentary. It's somewhat interesting, but it's all footage taken from people's phones and.
Oh wow.
But it talks about the crew and how the crew was stuck there, and they
had to deliver food to cabins.
It was not. It was as bad as it was for the passengers. It was way worse for the crew.
Think of the logistics of delivering food to those cabins. Those corridors are like a mile long.
Yeah,
and you got like.
It didn't seem like a great situation.
Man, and you're not only that. You're as a passenger, you're stuck in your.
You are stuck
cabin.
in the room unless you happen to get the virus, which a lot of people did, and people died, and they announced it over the intercom. You should watch it. It's pretty interesting. It's not that long, and
I can't believe they announced it like Hunger Games, like a cannon goes. It's weird. Another passenger died. More reason to stay in your room.
It was more like, let's remember this person. Not so much like Like, now that someone's dead, your odds of getting off are better. It wasn't like that.
We're cooking right along.
Pretty soon, all of you will be dead.
Right. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you.
We do.
Ish. By the way, someone asked on TikTok if you can find us on Spotify. Of course you can.
Yeah, it should
you
be
can find
everywhere.
us on all streaming platforms. But if you want to, you could just go to theartakepodcast.com.
Or if you really want to get crazy, you can email Ethan can suck it at gmail.com to book
You could be a guest. Yeah, come be a guest.
Or Brian Sherman.
It's just Brian.
Brian.
With a Y.
Oh, yeah. Brian at scaryparamedia.com.
Yeah.
It's a new...
Yeah, so theartakepodcast.com or at theartakepod on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram as well. But
we had 66,000 views.
Yeah,
and
go join the conversation
on our time travel one, and 100,000 on that stupid one about cops or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
stupid.
For episode 112, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. We'll see you next time.